Greetings everybody, Lazerbolt here, and welcome to another edition of Friday Night Flights, where we fly all around the world in interesting aircraft. Our favorite aircraft at the moment is the C-130. There's many different versions of it, but it's a great airplane. And yeah, hopefully everybody's doing good. It's a crazy world out there, but we're here to just kind of fly around and forget about it all for a couple hours. Tonight, we are in Sansnoya Noob or something like that. We are still on the island of Borneo, the second largest island in the world. But we are soon going to be in, well, I believe Borneo is actually in Indonesia. We're going to continue being in Indonesia, but we're going to the other island that is a little bit to the east of here, and should be a good time. Let's see, we got a lot of the regular crew here tonight. We got myself, Lazerbolt, we got Wingnut, we got Mr. Newbie, we got Warthog Bert, and we have Longhorn Ram. That's a very nice full group flight going on. And yeah, we're going to be taking off here in about 3 minutes. Tonight's flight, all three legs, we're going to have to climb pretty high. It's really only because of the third leg has a pretty high mountain range we need to go over. But we're going to fly tonight at 10,000 feet. So count on that for all three legs, 10,000 feet. One of the reasons for that is it's a slightly longer flight plan than usual. And 10,000 feet will give us a better ground speed, and that'll make up the difference. And yeah, hopefully everybody's doing just fine here on a Friday evening. How's everybody doing, gang?
Everybody's doing good.
Well, going well.
Good news. Good to hear. Yeah, we're talking about the weather here just a few minutes ago, and yeah, it's been some crazy weather here in Michigan. I know last week we were talking about how, or I mentioned that I looked at the forecast and it was supposed to be out of the 7 days of the forecast, 4 of those days were heavy snowstorms. So I was kind of bracing myself for a big, massive snowstorm. Instead, it warmed up. Craziest thing. Completely ignored the weather forecast and did its own thing. The weather around here, it's like 50 degrees right now, which is pretty darn good for us. And yeah, things got weird. All week it's been really foggy around here, and we've had tornadoes. So that's a very bizarre weather for us up here in Michigan. We don't get too many tornadoes, but yeah, we got a couple tornadoes just south of me. Hopefully everybody's doing okay down there, but pretty unusual for us to get tornadoes. About the closest thing we get to a tornado around here is we'll get a water spout over the lake or something. And we get those quite often, actually. A big water spout over the lake, and it picks up a bunch of water. And when it comes over land, it just dumps all the water and dissipates, and then it goes away. So very few tornadoes. So this is unusual weather for us.
Yeah, when I was in Toledo, I was only there. See, I moved there in August of '92, and then in September I was on my way back to Toledo from Detroit about 10 o'clock at night, and it was just thunderstorming like crazy, and I couldn't see anything, so I was following real tucked up behind a semi, and then we got hit by this gust of wind there's a 3-lane interstate, and it blew us both to the far left lane, and we were both cruising in the right lane originally. And then it's like, well, shoot, that was a heck of a gust of wind. That was right around Monroe, Michigan. And I got home, checked the weather, and it's like, yeah, the tornado was spotted in the Monroe area. I'll bet that was that gust of wind that blew.
You were there at the right time. Yeah, like I said, it's unusual for us to have this kind of weather. Very, very bizarre. I'm looking out my window right now, and I can't even see the other side of the street. That is bizarre. It looks like London out there. But yeah, as long as we don't get no tornadoes up here, we'll be good. Yeah, we're taking off in less than a minute, guys. So just a heads up, less than a minute, it'll be 10 after, and that's when we're taking off.
Yeah, we get fog, especially over the lake. It's really cool when I look down over the lake from where I live. The lake will just be covered in this white blanket of fog.
Yeah, I always kind of like that little, like a layer of haze just kind of hanging low. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and get these birds in the air. Like I said, we're going to climb to 10,000 feet. So let's do that. We're going to go 10,000 feet. We're going to turn right to a heading of 044 on this first leg. Right to a heading of 044 and try to maintain 250 knots. So if everybody is ready to go, let's go ahead and get these birds in the air. Give myself some flaps here. Takeoff lights. Alright, Lazerbolt is spooling up and rolling. I see we got our good buddy Captain Hopper wishing us a happy flight and a safe flight. Yeah, Yeah, right back to you, buddy. Well, happy Friday part of it anyway. It's good to see you, Captain Hop. Most of our runways tonight are plenty big. Well, all of our runways are plenty big enough. I think the shortest one is, I don't know, around 4,000 feet. So that'll be just fine. I love watching these birds take off.
Train, pull up. Train, pull up. I don't see any trains.
Nice. It's like Travis is here.
Someone's got to fill in.
Oh, that looks nice. I might use that for the thumbnail next week. Got you guys all silhouetted against the sky.
I'm doing live weather and time again, so I've got, I don't know what time it is local, but it seems to be like around noonish to me.
Yeah, it's pretty late in the day, so I bumped my weather, or my time, all the way down to like 6 a.m. It's pretty early in the morning for me. It looks nice, though.
Yeah, that's what I got. Still almost dark.
Turn off these lights. Beautiful city here when it's all lit up.
All I see are green farms. No lights. Oops, overspeed. Oh shit, I got to turn my flaps off. There we go.
Captain Hopper says he's eating a bowl of soup, so don't get too turbulent up here for him. Doesn't want to spill that soup all over. Yeah, 10,000 is a little bit higher than we normally go. But like I said, that'll give us a better ground speed. And our last leg has a big mountain range. I think it's 9,500 just to clear it. So we'll do 10,000. Only one of our 3 stops tonight has an airport that has an ILS. Unfortunately, that ILS will be the opposite direction that we're landing, but we will be able to do a back course landing if you so desire. I'm going to do that, and we'll still be able to do that. I'm not sure on all the Hercules, but on this Hercules I'm doing here, I tried that back course landing a couple days ago, and it worked fine. It just, there's no glide slope, of course, because the glide slope is pointing the other way. But at least it'll line you up with the runway, and it'll be easy for us to land.
Yeah, the Dirty 30 doesn't have the back course. Found that out before.
I think that 10,000 feet is going to put me right up in the clouds.
You know, the last couple of flights with us, I haven't really noticed the pitch doing anything weird.
Really, that pitch knob is kind of behaving itself?
Yeah, I just did like 2 clicks up, and it just took me up instead of taking me into a nosedive.
That's encouraging, because usually it just sends me straight to the ground. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, that's weird. There hasn't even been an update. I wonder what that's about. which I'm kind of expecting an update before too long. It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't remember when the last one was. I think, I mean, it's been maybe a month, month and a half.
I can't believe I
I think
blew
it was,
past 10,000 feet. I'm up at 11,000 already. Holy moly, I was climbing fast.
that's why I fly the Dirty 30, so it'll lock me in there when I hit 10,000.
That's a good reason to fly it. I love having that altitude select. Well, I'm going to drop back down to 10,000 and try to do it that way. Hell, I'm at 12,000 already. Yeah, I had no idea I was climbing that fast. I was going to look at my gauge and I thought, I'm probably at about 7,000 or 8,000 feet. And no, I was at 11 already. Bringing her back down.
Says I'm not on intercept heading. I'll just hit clear and make that go away. So I got one of your drinks now.
Ooh, what do you got?
I'll let you guess. I'll bet you know.
Well, if it's what I always drink, it would be a Dr. Pepper and vodka.
No, I thought it was Dr. Pepper and Fireball.
Oh, hell no. Whoa, that sounds brutal. Actually, it might not be too bad, though, huh?
It's not bad.
I do like Fireball, but just the occasional shot of it, you know. Nope, I'm simple. I like Dr. Pepper and cheap vodka. I'm currently drinking Crystal Palace. Can't get much cheaper than that. Great name, though.
Never heard of it. Is it anything like, what is it, Strawberry Hill wine?
Nope, it's just regular old cheap vodka. Cheap as it gets. I think it's like $10 a gallon. But hey, vodka's vodka, right?
I just fell back to a cheap Mexican mudslide and some chips.
Oh, that sounds good.
That does really sound good.
High class is what you guys have.
Nothing as high class as Crystal Palace and and what Fireball. Okay, I'm going to bring my speed up to 250, holding 10,000. Longhorn, what was that you were talking about earlier? You said something about you did something with your VR that kind of screwed up your frame rates, and then you did something else and it fixed them?
Yeah, I had changed from the what do they call it? The fixed foveator rendering, the window that it uses for that. I changed it back from narrow to wide, and then I also had changed my the graphic setting from quality to back down to balanced, and
Oh, right on.
it seemed to help smooth things out again.
Well, that's good. Well, I know that Dirty 30 you're in is a bit of a frame rate hog. That's I have a hard time flying that one in VR. Every other aircraft I'm in, it works pretty smoothly as long as I adjust the settings. But that Dirty 30 really chews up the frame rate. Of course, I've only got a 3060 Ti for a graphics card. It serves me well, you know, for the most part. Unless you want to get into, you know, top to bottom ultra settings, you know, 500 frame rate and all that kind of stuff.
Well, with my 5080, I'm getting right now 42 frames, which
That's
is
pretty good.
anything over 30 is smooth, and so I try to keep
Right.
it around 40. If I start going much over 40, then I'll start turning some of the graphics up.
Well, my number one consideration is just smoothness of it all. You know, even if I'm only getting 25 frames, as long as it's nice and smooth, I don't care. I just hate it when it's choppy and, you know, speeds up and slows down and, you know, pauses every 10 frames or something. As long as it's nice and smooth, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, one of the things I like to use to test it is I'll go into the, you know how they've got those Discovery flights, and I'll go into the New York City one, because I've got the New York City add-on, and I'll go into that one. And
oh, that does sound like it'll hit your frames pretty good.
Yeah, especially with the add-on, because it's got so many different handcrafted buildings in there.
Right.
And
I bet
then
you it's
the
pretty though.
thunderstorms going on. I don't know why you guys are way off to my left. Looks like I'm on my pink line.
Yeah, I am not. I don't have a pink line to
Oh.
follow.
I'm on a magenta line. I'm running on nav instead of heading right now.
I'm probably pretty
I
close.
don't even see you, Longhorn.
Well, I'm way off to the right of Laser. I don't
Right on.
see.
I'm just to the
you.
left of the pink line. I'm not sure how far, but yeah, just to the left. I'm flying heading bug because you know, the 2020 version of the C-130H screws up your flight plan. It adds all those extra waypoints. So I'm just following the plan on the map.
Oh, that must have been a very, very busy, popular airport because now that we've left it, I see about 15 AI aircraft there.
Yeah, there's a big stack of them pointing all different directions.
Yep.
It's funny, the only name tags I'm seeing right now is Mr. Newbie and Warthog. I see you, Laser. You'll see your airplane, but I don't see any tag to you.
Oh, really? Well, that is
I
unusual.
see you behind me. You are 0.85 miles behind me, and I see your name tag. Laser, Mr. Newbie, and Warthog and Mr. Newbie are close together. They're 3 miles away, and then Lazerbolt's too far away to see how far he is.
Right on. I can see you guys just to the right of me. I can see both your name tags on your airplanes.
Huh.
I got
That's
Warthog
probably
and
just
Mr. Newbie right behind me.
Maybe.
Yeah, you should see my aircraft pretty soon, Wingnut, because I'm at 230, and you're catching up to me because you're at 0.66 miles behind me now, and just a little bit low.
I see an airplane in front of me, but it had no tag. I'm not. I don't know if it's you or Laser actually.
Yeah,
but
no, it's me. It's me because Laser's way off to the left.
Yeah, I'm about 2.4 miles to the left of you guys.
Yeah, I had that a few weeks ago where I wasn't seeing anybody's name tags. I think that was when all my displays went orange and I had to restart it. When I came back in, I couldn't see anybody's name tags.
Well, when we were on the ground, did you see us all then?
Yeah. Oh, well, today I'm seeing everybody fine. I see everybody's name tag.
Oh, okay. What about you, Bob? When we were on the ground, do you see name tags plus planes?
I don't recall that far back.
Check to see if it maybe was a setting that got turned off. I have it mapped to Control N for name tags, so sometimes it will get like crisscross. I also have a button on my stick that actually turns on and turns off all POIs and name tags, and sometimes the name tag one will get crisscrossed with it, so when I hit the button it'll turn off all the POI markers, but it turns on the name tags, and so I've got to go and hit the Control N to turn them back off, and then it syncs them back together.
Right.
So I wonder if you get the name tags turned off. Well, no, you said you're seeing a couple, right?
Yeah, I see Mr. Newbie and Warthog. I see their tags and their planes, and I guess I've caught up to you because I can see your plane just fine. There's no tag. Maybe if I switch servers and then switch back, sometimes that.
Yeah, multiplayer really loves to throw curveballs at you. It's never smooth in multiplayer. There's always something. Usually it's not that big of a deal breaker, but it's always something.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't crash the desktop or force you to reboot your simulator.
Yeah, I did have a crash last week. Hopefully everything will go smooth this time. It's pretty rare when I have a crash in the game. I got Mr. Warthog here behind us, looking good. I like that A400 he's in.
All right, I just switched servers and switched back, and now I can see everyone just fine.
Here you go, the simple fix. Well, gentlemen, we are going to be coming into Sepinggan at Whiskey Alpha Lima Lima. We are going to be coming in on runway 7. So count on runway 7. That's pretty much straight in, and that is recommended with the wind speeds we got going on. So count on runway 7. There is, however, an ILS on runway 25. So I'm going to go ahead and do a back course and land on runway 7 using that back course ILS. The frequency for that ILS is 110.9er. 110.9er for that.
I've got a whole slew of RNAV approaches. All those are.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty big airport. I'm sure they've got some good navigation bringing you in. It's a pretty big runway we got here. We got 8,200 feet of asphalt, right at 18 feet of elevation. No problem there. So yeah, count on that. Runway 7. We're going to do the back course on the ILS. Now I have to reset my lights because it turned time of day and it shut all my lights off. I still need to figure that one out. Does that happen to you guys too? Well, it might be a C-130 issue, or the Captain Sim issue. I'm not sure it does that in all the aircraft. But as soon as it turns from like early morning to daytime, it shuts all my lights off. I guess it figures I don't need them, but I want them.
Yeah, I think there is a setting for automatic lights, so you might want to just, when you get a chance, scroll through all your like assistance options, and might be able to find it in there.
Right, it would probably help to just like search lights, and it'll bring up all the controls that have anything to do with lights, you know. Because there's so many options.
My Captain Sim airplane did that or not. I don't remember it doing that. Anyway.
Well, it's only noticeable if I'm flying like early in the morning, and then after we take off, about 10 minutes later, the sun comes up, and then it just shuts them all off. If the entire flight was during the daytime or during the nighttime, it wouldn't do that. I think it has something to do with the textures. You know how it has separate daytime textures and separate nighttime textures, and when it switches the texture pack, it just changes my lights.
I'm going to try to do a VOR approach on runway 7. Try something new.
Yeah, let's put that frequency in right now while I'm thinking about it. 110.9er. .9er. Good deal. So my mode selector over to VOR1. And the, what is this thing called again? The radio beam coupler. Set that radio beam coupler over to AFF. That should be just fine. Yeah, just remember, if you're doing a back course, don't set your course heading of the runway to the runway you're actually coming in on. You have to set it to the runway that the ILS is on. I made that mistake the other day trying to do it. Well, it was the first time doing it in this Captain Sim C-130, and it just kind of took me around in a circle. But as soon as I set the course heading to runway 25, even though I'm coming in runway 7, I set the course heading to runway 25. Everything worked fine. So I guess that's how it works, at least in this bird. Alright, runway 7. Oh, look at that. I snuck over right next to you guys. Howdy do.
Hey, there you are.
So geez, Longhorn, it looks like your autopilot took you about 300 feet too high. What's going on there?
Make sure my barometer's calibrated. Yeah, my barometer's calibrated.
Mine's showing 29.92, and I'm at 10,000 feet.
Yep, I can see even on your name tag it says you're at 10,000. And some small change.
Yeah, my barometer says it's 2983, but I'm on live weather.
Well, right on. Yeah,
That's probably
you'll
why.
definitely have a different barometric reading than we do. Yeah, speaking of frame rates, the number one thing that improves my frame rates is there's that, I forget what it's called. It's some kind of frame smoothing, but I don't think they call that in the game. But if you have an RTX graphics card, at least a 30 series, there's that option you can use. It's basically frame smoothing, it's called, where it pre-renders frames for you and then pops them in. And boy, oh boy, that makes the biggest difference on my frame rates. It goes crazy. Huge difference. But I do understand, Longhorn, you said that doesn't work in VR for some reason, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it works in the 3000 series, but I think it's only single frame rate. In the no, is it? Yeah, and then I don't remember what it is in the 4000, but the 5000 series will go up to ×4. But like I said, I never fly in 2D, so I don't know. I mean, I mean, as it is right now, just the few times that I've flown in 2D with this card, it's pegging out like 110 to 120 frames per second.
That's way more than you need for this game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I like about this game. You really don't need crazy frame rates in Flight Simulator. We're not shooting at each other, so it doesn't matter, you know.
Nope.
As long as it's nice and smooth.
When I turn my head, I don't want to see the screen go black.
Yeah, that's one of my big pet peeves in VR. I have to have it set to where I turn my head. It doesn't. The edges of the screen kind of encroach on you if your frames ain't good enough, and that's pretty noticeable. Well, good news, everybody. We did not spill Captain Hopper's soup. Right on. We kept that boy clean. Yeah, look at that A400, man. That thing is a beast.
Yeah, I was tempted to fly the C-17 tonight, but
Yeah, they're very similar, aren't they? Yeah, the
Yeah.
C-17 is just about like this aircraft, but with jet engines.
Yeah,
Another
it's fun to fly.
monster.
I enjoy flying that one too.
Yeah, I've spent way more time flying that C-17 than I have the 400, but they're both nice if you like that kind of thing, and I do. Alright, we are actually not too awful far away from that airport. We're making good time. Right about the time, if you look on the map, right about the time we reach the water, I'm going to start bringing her down to, oh, I don't know, about 3,000 feet or so. I'll start looking for that ILS localizer right about then. Kind of straight in, but not perfectly.
I'm showing about 72 miles out.
72, perfect, thank you. It's the other thing that the C-130 doesn't have that I wish it did, is some kind of a speed hold. It's real hard to balance it right on the speed you're trying to get. Yeah, after this week, we're still going to be in Indonesia after tonight's flight. We're going to be on the different set of islands over to the east. But we're going to be very close to New Guinea. So, yeah, next week we are going to be entering New Guinea territory, which there are some very interesting lore and stories about New Guinea. A lot of them talking about cannibalism and things like that. I do know one thing they say, that if you're visiting New Guinea, they say, don't wander off. Don't go wandering off into the woods or the mountains or anything like that. Just don't do it, because there's people up there. They got some ideas. And they also say too, I remember last time we were flying around New Guinea, I did a lot of research on the area because it's interesting, that it's one of the least well mapped areas of the entire Earth. It is so heavily covered in jungle that it's just never really been mapped properly. Nobody really has a good map of what's going on there. Captain Hopper says he had egg on his face earlier because of a sandwich he made. Well, hopefully you got that all cleaned up, buddy. Get that out of your beard. Well, I've got about 7,000 feet to lose, so I'm going to slowly begin descending. Don't need to go too awful quickly down, but yeah, I'm going to bring it down to about 3,000 feet. Yeah, Hop, I like a good egg sandwich too. It's simple and effective. Great midnight snack. What I like to do is take two pieces of toast and a fried egg with peanut butter. That is such a good combo. It sounds weird if you've never had it, but try it, man. It's pretty good.
I'm big on the salad sandwiches, boiled eggs with mayonnaise, chopped up some onions and some pickles.
Oh yeah, another simple but effective.
You had me till pickles.
No pickles
bread and
for you.
butter
Huh?
pickles chopped up and diced up in there with the chopped up onions. Oh man!
Yeah, you gotta have something crunchy in there.
I've never tried pickles in an egg sandwich.
Really?
The rest of it I have.
They got to be bread and butter pickles. They're a little bit sweeter. And,
Yeah,
man, that's good.
Yeah, I do like the bread and butter pickles.
You know, I wouldn't steer you wrong, Longhorn.
I didn't think so.
I'm going to swing a few degrees to the left to line up that runway. I'm going to be on the localizer, so I don't need to be too straight in.
Oh, 50 miles out.
It's so cool how it puts my aircraft into shows it overlays it over the my map chart.
Like the in-game map chart?
Yeah, in the EFB, I've got the map chart showing on it right now, and now my airplane just like entered the picture.
Captain Hopper's making me hungry with all this egg sandwich talk.
Yeah, seems like about every time we get on here, we're talking about some kind of food.
Tell you what, guess we like eating.
Can't argue with that.
Getting almost to the point where I need to start paying attention to my gauge to see when it picks up that localizer. Since we don't have a glide slope on this end of the runway, it doesn't really matter how high we are when we come in, as long as we're not too high to land. Yeah, our forecast says it's going to be in the 50s pretty much all week. That's a good deal. I like that. Very true, Captain. Although, you know, every time I look at this amazing C-130H cockpit, I just love it. I absolutely love these steam gauges, man. It's a great looking cockpit. Although the Dirty 30 has a nice looking cockpit too, very impressive with all the electronics and the glass displays you got. It's pretty impressive. But man, there's just something real nice and familiar about these gauges, you know. I love it. Alrighty, I'm almost 4,000. I should be at 3,000 soon. Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for the next update on the Dirty 30 before I hop back in that thing. No particular reason. I tend to fly it more after an update. You know how that is. We're all curious of, you know, what they fixed and what they changed.
Oh, sure.
Holding 3,000.
Right on your 6.
I'm going to try to speed back up to 250 for a minute or two until we get ready to land. Warthog wants to know how long is next flight. Not sure if he means next week or what, or just the next leg. Usually I try to keep our flights to about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I'm pretty good about that. It's pretty consistently about 2.5 hours. But if you're wondering of how long the next leg is, it's almost exactly as long as this first one. Like, almost perfectly as long as this one. Anyway, I just noticed that I am receiving the telemetry from the ILS frequency there. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to VOR1. Fingers crossed. Hopefully it'll bring me right in. So far, nothing.
$24 miles out.
I'm going to begin slowing down to about 200 here in a minute. Oh, I know why I didn't do it. I have my radio beam coupler set to AFF, and it's supposed to be set to blue left localizer when you're doing a back course. Here we go. We're in business now. It's so rare that I use that blue left localizer setting that I forgot all about it. Oh yeah, we're coming in straight. Yep.
Seems to be
Next
working.
leg, Warthog. Next leg is exactly as long as this one.
Seems to be working on the VOR because I just captured it.
Oh, right on. Good beans. Yep. When I say exactly as long, they are exactly as long. Very, very unusual. This first leg we just did was 183 miles, and the next one is 183 miles. So that is quite a coincidence. The last leg is the relatively shortest leg. I think it's only about 140 miles. It's not much shorter, but it's a little shorter. Here we have a guy over there in a 737 called One Punched. Right on. He's about 64 miles away from us, so I don't think he's flying with us. It is always nice to just randomly run into a real person when you're flying around the world, you know, because it's a big world. It's pretty, you know, there could be 1,000,000 people in the game flying around and you still never see anybody. Big world. Especially when you consider there's multiple servers. Alright, turning to final. Runway, what are we doing, 7? Yeah, Warthog says he might have to miss the next leg, but yeah, that's fine, buddy. We are under no obligation. We're just here to have a good time. Hopefully you'll be back for the last leg of the evening. Got to take care of business. Says I'm about 15 out. I'm going to take their word for it. Yeah, our buddy Warthog has to get some food. That's a good mission right there. Do it. Okay, time to start slowing this bird down, because they don't slow down easily. Of course, I've got the sun right in front of me. It makes it real hard to see that runway. It's nice to know that I'm on that localizer. And if anybody watching the stream now or in the future, if you felt like joining us, please do. Yeah, please do. We're very welcoming around here. We're pretty easy to fly with. Grab the game. It's a cheap and easy, well, I don't know about cheap, but it's an easy install. You can get it really cheaply if you got Game Pass. You can get it on there. But yeah, downloads real nice and quick. You can even meet us at this next airport we're coming to right now. So go ahead and load in at this airport we're about ready to to get into, and we can all fly together. It's a good time on a Friday night. If you're looking for information on the flight, it's all in the details of the YouTube video. It's all there, where we're going and what we're flying, and there's even a link where you can go to my OneDrive and grab my the PLN file that we created for this flight. Time for gear down. Maybe some landing lights going on around here too.
A pretty populated area.
Tell you what, there's a lot of boats around here too, isn't there?
Yeah, there are.
I had a weird boat over here. Let me see if I can find it again. It was called something like, oh, here it is. Oh, never mind. It's a buoy. 12-65%. Whatever that means.
I saw a lot of those around China, and I don't know what they meant.
They had a percentage on there, huh? That's
Yeah.
odd. Alrighty, bringing her in. This is quite a city here, man. They got some big buildings. Our next stop is a really interesting one. I'm looking forward to getting there. It is kind of an airport in... it's like in a valley. There's mountain ranges on both sides, and you can only get in and out of there one way. And it's a pretty nice looking area. From what I understand, it is a big tourist destination when I was looking it up in Wikipedia there. Alrighty, I'm still going pretty fast, but at least this is a long runway. I'm going very fast. Laser is exiting to the left. We take this little footpath over there back to the beginning of the runway. Actually, this runway is big enough we could probably land and then take off again, no problem. But let's just back taxi to runway 7. We'll be good to go. See, I see Mr. Newbie is in that PC-24. That's a fancy looking jet. I like that little business jet looking thing. Yeah, as soon as I get close to you guys in your Dirty 30, it gives me a resource usage warning. Those things are big frame hogs. Not a deal breaker for as amazing as an aircraft as it is. I really like it. Boy, are we all down already? I think we are. That was a good landing. One after another, we all came in. Nice spacing. Nobody had an issue. Good deal. I think Warthog might have popped a tire, but we'll replace that when he's getting some food. Alright, let's line back up on runway 7 and we're going to get our asses out of here for leg number 2. Alright, Warthog, bon appetit, buddy. Hey, that guy I was talking about, One Punched, he's right here at this airport. Maybe he does want to fly with us. That'd be cool. If you're listening to the stream, come on in, buddy. We're going to take off here in about, maybe a minute or two from runway 7. Grab something that can maintain 250 knots at 10,000 feet, and we'll be one big happy squad. Coast, is that you hopping in Discord?
Yep.
It's good to see you, buddy. Happy Friday.
I gotta turn off the stream here.
Right on.
How you doing?
Real good myself, buddy. How are you?
Evening, Coast.
Hello, Coast.
Okay, my son-in-law thought that was my power supply. Wasn't. For the old system.
Right on. Is he still not posting at all when it turns on? There's no activity whatsoever?
Won't even boot.
Huh. So it's still a mystery, or is there any kind of
Still a
chance?
mystery. I'm gonna take it back and do it myself.
Right on. Yeah, I still think it has to do with your BIOS somehow. It doesn't know what to do when it turns on. And
Yeah,
somehow
I
you got to get it to boot into your BIOS. And I think your Windows might be screwed up. You said this whole thing started when you did a Windows update, and after that your whole machine was screwed up. So I think that Windows update was interrupted in the middle of the update. Just a theory I have, but it seems like the Windows update was interrupted and it corrupted a whole bunch of stuff, including your startup sequence. So you can somehow get it into your BIOS, and you can reinstall Windows.
Yeah, there's another onboard BIOS that you always can boot from. It's called the UEF.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways you get into it is you pull the battery and hold it out for a while, and then you put the onboard battery on the motherboard, and then it goes back into the UEF.
Right on. Yeah, I had to do that once on this computer I'm using right now. Actually, I was lucky. I didn't have to remove the battery. There's a little switch inside where there's like 2 terminals that are sticking up right in the corner, and it'll be labeled something right on your motherboard. And I had to bridge those 2 terminals with a screwdriver, and when I did that, instantly everything cleared out, and it was just like a brand new computer. Everything just wiped itself out, and it was ready for me to reinstall Windows after that. I had to eventually go back and update my BIOS because it wiped that out too. It went right back to the factory settings. And so, yeah, after I updated the BIOS and reinstalled Windows, it was like a brand new machine after that. So I think you might be onto something. Try that. Anyway, gentlemen, it's time to get these birds back up in the air. Let me do a quick check here. This next leg is at a heading of 083 degrees. 083, count on that. We're going 10,000 feet, 250 knots. Alright, 083. Lazerbolt is spooling up and rolling. Pay no mind to that SGV 535 that's landing right in front of us. We're not paying attention to what ATC tells us to do. Apparently that guy is. I don't know if you all can see him, but yeah, we're going to go right through him. It is a real-world aircraft at this airport landing. staying on course. So, Costa, you guys been having some weird weather over there in Buffalo like we are here in Michigan? We're getting weird stuff like lots of fog and tornadoes and stuff. It's bizarre.
No tornadoes, but we got fog.
Yeah, we don't get very many tornadoes around here, but this last week it was supposed to snow to beat all hell. And instead, it was 20 degrees warmer than it was supposed to be, and foggy and tornado-y. Yeah, we don't usually get too many tornadoes, but there was a couple of them just south of me.
We had a tornado last year, which is not very uncommon for us.
Yeah, we're not really in the tornado belt around here. We get them over the lake all the time. We get them in Lake Michigan constantly. I mean, in the summertime, it is not unusual to look out and see a water spout in the water. Those happen all the time. But by the time they reach the land, they dissipate, dump a bunch of water, and then they're done. Yeah, One Punch HD. Yeah, we also got somebody up in the air called Mia Scully. Right on. It's a very busy area. Yeah, like I was saying, if I was that One Punch guy and he's not here to be part of our group, he must have thought that was kind of weird to see 5 airplanes just kind of land and take off. You don't see that every day at a random airport. We got Purdue FNR with the big greetings up in here. Greetings, buddy. How you doing, Purdue? Just a reminder, we're climbing to 10,000 feet at 250 knots. Oh, that's Purdue is our buddy PC. I always forget that. I've seen that a few times, but yeah, you know how it is when you get used to somebody's name, like on Discord, and then you see them on YouTube and they got a different name. It's kind of weird. Yeah. Howdy, PC. It's good to see you, buddy. Happy Friday, man. Yeah, I was just going to say, PC is one of our buddies over there at the gang that hangs out with Captain Hopper. And Captain Hopper is putting his 2 cents in. Yeah, Captain Hopper, it is getting about that time that I'm starting to write the script for this year's Star Wars video. So, as long as you're in, I'm going to put you in. So, yeah, should be a good time. It's my favorite video all year. It never gets any views. Nobody ever watches it. I think I'm the only person that really cares about it. But I love making stupid little Star Wars videos. It's my favorite video I make all year long. I only make one a year, and I love it. But it gets terrible views. Nobody comes to this channel to watch my Star Wars crap, so it just gets terrible views. But hey, if people come here for the flight sim stuff, give the people what they want. Yeah, PC watches it because he's a good guy. Alright, bringing the speed back down to about 250. Yeah, Captain Hopper is one of my favorite characters in those videos. I like the character. He's great. First of all, Captain Hopper performs him great. He's got an awesome voice, and he's a way better actor than I am. So it's nice to have at least one person in the video who's a good actor. And yeah, he plays a Force ghost who doesn't realize he's a Force ghost. He just goes about his business just like he's like everybody else. He flies the spaceship around and all this kind of stuff, but he doesn't realize that he doesn't have to. He's a Force ghost. Hey, no problem, Hob, man. You know I love you. Skyhopper doesn't have a droid, but he does have a sidekick. Skyhopper's sidekick is called Spacey. He is a spacetopus. Yep, big old, nearly indestructible space octopus, as it were. And everybody knows just how clingy spacetopuses are. So, yeah. Captain Skyhopper made friends with him at one of Admiral Akbar's parties, and Spacetopus followed him home, and now they're buddies. Can't get rid of them. Yeah, you guys, Captain Hopper and PC, or anybody who's watched the Star Wars videos I make, just once a year on Star Wars Day. But I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's 3 main characters in the series, and each main character has a sidekick, and none of the sidekicks speak. None of them talk. So it makes it real easy to write the script for that. I mean, it's just, I did that on purpose, just that, you know, Mando hangs around Grogu, who doesn't talk, you know, and Lazerbolt hangs around R2-D2, who doesn't talk, and Captain Skyhopper hangs around Spacey, who doesn't talk. But it makes it real easy, because then you can just be like, yeah, that's right, R2, this is where we need to go. You know, it helps with exposition. I can always have a lot of exposition going on, because, you know, that way the audience knows what we're talking about just because I have to speak for R2, you know what I mean? Anyway, I really enjoy working on those videos, and I'm glad you're on board, Captain Hopper. This is going to be the best one yet. Speaking of when that Mando and Mandalorian / Grogu movie comes out, that's going to be out in a couple months. I can't wait to go see that, Mandalorian Grogu. I love that. I love that Mandalorian show. I love Grogu. I just like the whole thing. I love Star Wars, so I'm really looking forward to that. But what I'm going to do, I did this before for The Last Jedi. I dressed up in one of my Star Wars costumes. I have a number of them. But I'm going to dress in my Mandalorian armor. I have a full suit of Mandalorian armor, head to toe. I'm going to dress up in my Mandalorian armor to go to the Mandalorian movie. And what I do every time, and half the times the ticket taker doesn't understand. It's like these people just don't have any kind of a sense of humor. Like last time I dressed up in my X-Wing pilot costume. X-Wing pilot from head to toe, the helmet, the whole thing, the orange suit, I was an X-Wing pilot from head to toe. And I walk up to the ticket lady. It's like opening day for The Rise of Skywalker, and I walked up and asked for a ticket to like a movie that wasn't The Rise of Skywalker. You know, it's like, hey, I need one ticket to, you know, 50 Shades of Grey. And she sold it to me. She didn't even get that it was a joke. It's like, geez, oh, Pete, girl, come on. I'm kidding. I'm obviously here for the Star Wars movie. Geez, people. Some people just don't have a sense of humor. But I'm going to pull that one again. I'm going to walk up, head to toe Mandalorian armor, and say, hey, I need a ticket to, I don't know, whatever movie's going on. You know, I need a ticket to Wuthering Heights. Hopefully they'll get it this time.
They might just think it's part of your regular everyday attire.
They might. I always do get some weird looks though, like when I'm dressed in a costume like that and I'm driving my Camaro around town with the top down. People are always like, "Oh, what the hell is that all about?"
Oh, I got some rain going on.
Yeah, Warthog is back already. He must have really scarfed down that food. Hopefully it was good stuff, man.
Oh, I got some thunder and lightning going now.
Really, in the game or outside your house?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, in the game.
Oh, okay, cool. I always like thunder and
Yes.
lightning in the game. You obviously are in real world weather.
Yep.
Nice. They do a real good job on that too. The lightning effects are really good in here. If you want to see some good crazy weather, try that. They got that Stranger Things downloadable content for this game. Try that. In some of the levels, it's just like red lightning shooting through the sky, and it's really cool. All right, we are heading over to Indonesia proper. Actually, this whole area is Indonesia, including the big island of Borneo that we just left. We spent at least 3 weeks in Borneo. We're going to miss it. It was a nice place. But if you look on the map and see this runway, or actually this island we're heading to, we're still in Indonesia. This place is like covered with mountains. And you will notice that our airport only has one way in and one way out. So, yeah, we're going to be doing that. There is no ILS approach here. We're going to have to do it by eyeball, but we're coming in on runway 15. So remember that. We're coming in on runway 15, 1-5. That is 7,600 feet of asphalt. 288 feet of elevation. That's not nothing, but it's not a big deal. So count on that, runway 15, when we get there. You'll see on the map that we basically have a little corridor that we have to fly through to get to the airport. So we're going to start to the south of it and just fly through that little, it looks like a natural harbor right there, and in between two mountain ranges, and that's where we're going to be.
Yeah, my EFB is suggesting the other runway to land on. It's like, how the heck am I going to manage that one?
Yeah, so was mine, and I'm like, nope, no thank you. It's a big enough runway, we shouldn't have too much problems.
Yeah, because there's like, I got about a 5-knot tailwind coming in on 15, but it's got a VOR approach, so I'm going to load that in again.
The peanuts are served when we get to our next stop there, Captain Hopper.
16.2.
Oh, our buddy PC has a good question here. It is a movie question. What movie does this quote come from? I don't think there are any stewardesses, Vaughn. Name the movie. I'm drawing a blank. All I can think of is Vince Vaughn, but that's an actual guy. I'm drawing a blank. Unless it's something like Lost. Oh, Major League. Okay. Boy, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. Hey, Mia Scully joined us. Very nice. I can't tell 100% for sure, but it looks like a C-130 going on. It is. That is a C-130 from Blackbird Simulations, long configuration Dirty 30 going on. My man, that is a advanced airplane for big boys and girls. I love it. Welcome to the group, buddy. You're looking good. That's the same aircraft that Longhorn and Wingnut Bob are in. I am myself. Did you just switch? What are you in now?
I went to the C-17.
Oh, right on. You've been talking about that for a while. Isn't that thing? That's they call it like a Galaxy or something like that, right? Or am I wrong about that?
No, this is the
Globemaster.
Globemaster. There
That's
you go. I
it.
was about to ask Coach. I knew he'd remember.
I knew it started with a G. Yeah, that is a big aircraft. Nice one, though.
Remember the C-124?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was one I think PR dude used to fly all the time. He had everything. He had every aircraft you could think of. But he was one of those guys too that he would constantly have trouble with his flight sim because he had everything. He had every add-on, every payware, every freeware, everything that was made by some dude sitting in his basement. You know, he put everything he could get his hands on in his sim, and then he constantly had problems with it. It's like, well, I think it's a little overloaded, buddy. Plus some of that stuff don't work real well, you know. But he just couldn't resist. He loved everything he could get his hands on.
I was checking out the live weather there, Longhorn. I'm seeing big streaks of lightning too, but I'm in the clouds. I guess it's solid gray in front of me, all around me.
Yeah, that's what I got with rain just pelting my plane, but it clears up before we get to the airport though. At least on the EFB, looks like it's about another 20 to 30 miles out. It looks like it clears up, and it's clear at the airport.
Yeah, PC, I see you're asking how's the game work? You got to buy your aircraft. No, you don't. The game itself comes with quite a few aircraft. I'm not sure how many. It's like a lot, like 100. It's every base is covered. It comes with a lot of airplanes by default. But my favorite aircraft in the entire world, and always will be, is the C-130 Hercules. And they don't make one for the default sim. So you have to buy off-brand ones. There's a number of them to pick from. Honestly, I think the one I'm flying in right now you can get for like $15, so they're relatively cheap. There's a marketplace in game that you can go to buy stuff. But yeah, I did have to purchase this aircraft, but only because I couldn't live without it. It's amazing. No, you can't earn them in game. It's real cash. Oh yeah, PC wants to know. He said his coworker has a Piper Cub, and could you get one of those in the game? Oh yeah, I'm almost positive there's one already in the game by default. There has to be. That's a pretty common aircraft. Alright, just to make sure that we're going to line up with that corridor, I am going to jog over to the left a few degrees, maybe about 10 degrees here. We'll be on course.
We got somebody at the airport.
Yeah, we do.
Can't read their name because it's obscured by the clouds and rain, and they're too far away.
Yeah, right on. I got some clouds going on too, so I don't even see it yet. I kind of got the name tag popping through, but my eyes ain't good enough to read it.
That's what I see.
Right on. Hey, Bob, can you let me know when we're about 50 miles out?
My when I went back to change my airplane, it messed up my plan.
Right on. I forgot you switched.
I've got 75 miles out.
Oh, okay, that's right. Good deal. Good deal. I just don't want to wait too long before I start descending. I'm all the way up here at 10,000. Yeah, Chris Scott is asking about the cockpits in the C-130. The cockpit I'm using right now, this is the cockpit of the Captain Sim C-130H. It is also the same exact cockpit you'll get if you buy the C-130J from Captain Sim. Basically, any Captain Sim Hercules will have this steam gauge, old-fashioned cockpit. I really like it. I like the Captain Sim version of the aircraft. Doesn't matter. There's like 3 or 4 different versions you can buy, and they all have this old-fashioned cockpit in them. They work really well. Everything works in it. It's fantastic. The Blackbird Simulation C-130, on the other hand, the one that a couple of the other fellows are flying right now, that is a very modern glass cockpit. Computerized panels all over the place. It has like an electronic systems management unit, the CNIMU. Everything is fully electronic and high-tech upgraded. That's the only difference. It's basically the same airframe, the same aircraft, but this one is a really old-fashioned, outdated version of it. The C-130 from Blackbird Simulations is a very modern, very nice cockpit. I also like that aircraft a lot. One of the reasons I don't fly that one quite as much is it's not in full release yet. The Blackbird Simulations one is still in a beta testing phase. You can buy it from their website, but it's not on the marketplace yet. But you can go to their website and buy it and test it with them. The reason I bought it a long time ago is every time they update it, they increase the price a little. And they warned us. It's like, okay, that's fair game. I bought it as soon as it was available just because I knew every time there's an update, it's going to get a little more expensive. And so, yeah, I bought it a long time ago, and it was far from ready. It was very hard to fly. It's getting much better. It's almost there. It's I wouldn't be too surprised if, like, sometime in the next 6 months, it will be in full release and everything will be working perfectly on it. But it does have some little issues. Nothing too major, but it's got some little issues going on. But it's a fantastic aircraft, and one of these days it's going to be my favorite.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's priced at 39 right now.
Is it? Yeah, I think it was only like maybe 15 or 20 when I bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice aircraft, though. I do like that Dirty 30 from Blackbird. Like I said, I like flying this C-130 just for the simplicity of it, and everything works really good. It's got some weird multiplayer issues. People have trouble seeing sometimes, but the aircraft itself is really nice. It's missing a lot of the bells and whistles that you would hope to have on a lot of aircraft, but it's nice. It's really nice. Both of them are nice. Like I said, I'm kind of looking forward to a new update on that Dirty 30, just so I'd have a reason to fly it again. Yeah, PR wants to know, once you buy a plane, can you fully customize it? No, you can't fully customize it. I mean, you can add your name to the side of it, your call sign and all that kind of stuff. But usually each aircraft comes with a number, at least a handful of different liveries, different paint jobs, so there is some variety you can get. And it usually just comes right with it when you buy it. A few more degrees here and make sure we hit that opening. See here, 156 degrees. I'll just put that on 156 so I'll know exactly which direction the runway is heading. It's not going to help me for an ILS approach. There is no ILS. Yeah, at least I know the runway's heading in that direction. That'll help me get lined up with it. Alright, I do think I'm going to begin slowly descending here down to, about 2,500 should do the trick. Oh yeah, Chris Scott, you were absolutely right. It would be amazing to be able to do some in-air refueling with that thing. That's one of the things I always wondered about that. They got that A400. Uh, it has a fuel probe sticking out of the front of it. I mean, I know it doesn't work, but it would be nice if it did. It'd be nice if there was just some kind of an add-on that somebody could make for that. That if you're directly behind the guy and close enough, it'll refuel you. You know, that'd be great. Yeah, this is a very nice looking area where this airport is, surrounded by mountains, and it's just beautiful. Nice harbor. Well, Longhorn must have been hauling ass. He got right up there.
I didn't realize I didn't have the auto throttle button selected.
Oh,
I'm
right.
sitting here looking at my reference speed at 250 and think I'm just cruising along. And then I looked down and I saw my speed was 290.
But you still had your full throttle takeoff throttle going on.
Yep.
I do that all the time. It's like, oh, geez, whoops. I'll
Well, I made
level
sure I
out and
turned
forget.
I made sure I turned the auto throttle off for the last landing. I just forgot to turn it back on.
Well, I guess it's better to remember to turn it off than to not. We've all done that far too many times. You turn off your autopilot, but your auto throttle remains on. And I'm still scratching my head as to why it's like that. I know it's like that in real life, but I don't quite understand why would they do that. It seems to me if you turn off the autopilot, it should shut off all that stuff. And then it's like when you're coming in for a landing and you're trying to figure out how come I can't slow down. Well, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened to me last week. I had to do a go around because of it.
Mm-hmm. And it's the easiest thing to forget too. You know, you think you're doing just great. It looks like this is the perfect landing, but you can't slow down. You can't stop no matter what you do. Your brakes ain't working. And about the time I realize that there's something wrong, it's like 1.5 seconds too late. If I would have realized it a second ago, I could have done something about it. But now it's too late. I got to go around. Oh yeah, everybody, this airport we're coming into right now, this is our penultimate stop for the evening. After this, we only have one more leg to go. So it is tradition for us around here, after we get to our penultimate stop, we'll take a 10-minute break. So during that 10 minutes, it goes by quick. Use the restroom, grab yourself a snack, grab a drink, pet the dog on the head. Go down and like and subscribe. That always makes me feel good when I like and subscribe to something. It's empowering knowing that you have the power to help this person, and it's a simple thing to do. So yeah, do all of the above, and we'll take 10 minutes.
See if this VOR autopilot cranks me to the right at a 90-degree angle.
You got a frequency for that?
116.2.
PC wants to know if petting the dog is code for something else. We don't have time for that.
No, that'd be petting the cat.
Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. Yeah, and also, he's asking if I'm going to break that RV out again sometime soon. Well, of course I am. Waiting for the weather to get a little nicer, that is for sure. Plus, in the wintertime, I tend to be broke. I make all my money in the summer. doing little odd jobs around town here and there. I got a list of things I like to do for money. But in the wintertime, I hibernate. I don't do shit in the winter, so I'm usually pretty broke. So yeah, definitely maybe it's probably going to be May. It might be May, the first time I take the RV for a trip. But of course, I'm looking forward to it. Love that stuff.
That's our next trip. We're scouting out places to go now.
Right on.
Looking at maybe by Lake Tahoe, but
Ooh,
seems like any
Tahoe.
place you want to camp around there, you got to try to get in when the reservations open a year in advance, and then you got to sit there and play keyboard like the minute they open to get a site.
You're right. Yeah, that's the problem I have with most of the any kind of a like a state park or something like that. They don't take reservations, like you said. So you gotta, I mean, for me, it's like, what am I gonna take a 6-hour drive to a place where I'm not even sure I can stay at? You know what I mean? So it's like, if I get there and there's no place, so where do I go then? I mean, there's always other places, but it's not the place you wanted to go.
Well, the state parks do take reservations, and I like going to the state parks because it's only $35 a night. Whereas if you go to a private campground or a KOA or anything like that, especially around Tahoe, you're going to pay up to $150 a night. And it's like, no, I just
Good
want
Lord.
a place to park my RV.
Well, I don't think it's like that here in Michigan. The last time I stayed at a state park, it was a lot. It was so much that I stayed one night and then I went somewhere else because it was too expensive.
Well, yes, that's the only thing in California that's reasonable is the state park price. It's $35. But
And PC is asking about, he said he was up in the UP. And yeah, as a matter of fact, that's exactly where I was, where I stayed at a state park up there in the UP last summer. It was a nice place. It was pretty crowded, but it was okay, But it was super expensive. And yeah, not only was it expensive to stay there, but I had to buy some kind of a pass just to get into the state parks. So what I did is I bought the big expensive pass that lets me into any state park. And now the next time I stay at a state park, it'll be a little bit cheaper, but not very much.
well, that's the problem with Michigan is you only get a half a year of camping season, so everybody crams it in.
Yeah, that's true. I did manage to find a little place, though. It's a place called Big Lake, and it was actually the smallest lake in the area, which is weird. It was surrounded by way bigger lakes, including Lake Michigan, and it's just, I don't know why they call it Big Lake. But it was a nice place, nice little quaint little, it was almost like a community, to where all of the people staying there, they knew each other. They all go there all the time, and I was the total outsider. I was the one person that nobody knew. So it was a little weird. It was a little culty, but everybody was super nice and friendly, and yeah, it was a great place to stay. PC mentions a place called Munising, and yeah, I agree. That's a real nice area up there in Munising. Alrighty, I'm approaching 2,500. I'm going to go ahead and level off. We're almost there. bar downstairs is hopping tonight, man. People around here really love it when it hits like 50 degrees. It feels like spring's here.
Yeah. It feels like it here. We've been in the 80s for a few days, and
Wow.
daffodils are in full bloom. Trees are starting to sprout flowers.
Whew, 80s, that's like our max around here. I mean, it gets hotter than that, but 80 is about a regular, normal summer day around here. Yeah, right on. Warthog managed to catch up to us in a hurry in that F-18. Broke out that Super Hornet. That should work just fine with the last couple airports we got. They're both plenty big enough for such an aircraft, and that thing is zippy. That is also a default aircraft. If anybody ever wanted to join us, a good aircraft to get is that F-18. That's the default aircraft in the game, so that's a good way to do it. It keeps up with the C-130s nicely, and boy, do they look good flying in formation together. I love seeing this C-130 with a nice escort. Beautiful.
Oh, I got the localizer.
I believe in the default game there is also there is a Warthog, an A-10 Warthog that is really nicely made too. It also, being a military jet, it holds formation with the C-130s just beautifully. I saw somebody flying that about a month ago, and I was a little surprised because I didn't know that that was a default airplane. I was surprised that I could actually see it properly, because usually if you don't have that aircraft, it'll substitute it for something else, and other people will see you as whatever, some random ass airplane. But I saw that Warthog properly, so I know it's a default aircraft, and it was pretty nice.
Yeah, I've flown it a couple times. It's actually a nice plane to fly.
Well, and that thing has a nice,
300 knots.
Oh, it's got a great window of speed. Like I said, it can go fast and slow. All right, gentlemen, pay attention to your speeds because we're almost there. Yeah, what a beautiful area.
Nice. It's protected from mountains all the way around it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a nice little protected harbor here. Runway in sight. Yeah, by the way, if anybody would like any kind of instructional on that Dirty 30, the Blackbird Simulations Dirty 30 C-130 Hercules, the J, um, very nice aircraft. If you're looking for any information on that, I have a number of videos. One of my latest videos is a tutorial on the startup procedure and how to navigate and how to use the ILS approach procedures. Everything you'll need to know about that aircraft. So yeah, go ahead and grab that. You guys see that giant, gosh, I don't know if that's a building or just a big smokestack.
I see that. Yeah, at first I thought it was an antenna, but now looking at it, it's too wide to be an antenna. So I don't know if it's a smokestack or what.
Yeah,
There's no smoke coming out of it.
there ain't no smoke coming out of it, yeah. It's pretty big, whatever it is. Longhorn, I'm right behind you. What's going to be your final speed?
I'm at 120.
Ooh, roger that. I'm going to go right past you. We'll see.
Wonder if it's just a glitch on a building that's taller than it's supposed to be, because that's what it
Yeah,
looks like.
it kind of does. It looks like the, what do they call that? The photogrammetry? The photogrammetry screwed up, and it probably saw there was a little thing on the ground and thought it was like 100 feet tall when it was 10 feet tall. You know what it might even be? It might even just be the shadow from something that it thought was a big building.
Because it's definitely out of place here.
Yeah, that don't look right at all. That look like somebody's playing Minecraft and built a big obsidian tower. That doesn't look like a real thing. I mean, if it was a building, how come there's no windows or nothing? Well, at least it's not on the end of the runway, so good deal. Right on, Longhorn. Looks like I'm going to have no trouble staying behind you. We're looking good.
On the ground.
Yeah, we'll form back up somewhere and just kind of sit here for 10 minutes. Give us a little break. I'm going to go ahead and exit to the right. You know what? Specifically, since it recommends we come landing in on the other runway, the other side of this runway, why don't we take off in the opposite direction this time? Plus, that will help us get over these mountains. That'll give us a little extra, maybe an extra mile or two to climb, because these mountains, we're going to go over that mountain range to the left over here, and it's taller than it looks. It's very tall. So yeah, we're going to take off from the reciprocal runway of the one we landed on. Right now, what do we call this? It's quarter to the top of the hour. Quarter to. At 5 to the top of the hour, whatever hour you're on, we're going to be back up in the air. So count on that. 5 to the top of the hour, we're out of here.
Okay.
And just remember, we're going to be taking off from the opposite runway of the one we landed.
Was Mia Scully in contact on YouTube with you, or?
No, actually, unless he's using a different name or she is using a different name, I don't know.
Okay.
They probably, that's why they're with us. They probably are aware of the flight plan, I'm guessing. Well,
Yeah,
we'll see.
That's cool.
Oh, look at this. Our buddy Warthog switched over to that Warthog. What a beautiful
Oh.
aircraft. I just love that little
That's-
thing, man.
Yeah,
Isn't
that
that
thing's
something?
fun to fly too. Yeah.
Oh, I bet it is. I've never flown it, but I love it.
Really? Oh, you got to try it at least once.
Really? Yeah, I've never
It's
flown
fun
it.
to fly.
It does look fun. I like the window that it operates in. Like I said, it's you can go fast or slow with that thing. It's a great airframe. I like it. All right, guys, I'm going to be back in about a minute. I'm going to go refresh my cocktail and get the show back on the road.
Same here. Be back in a moment.
Guys and girls, we are going to be out of here in about 3 minutes. So I'm going to taxi back over to this runway. We're going to be getting ready to go. Last leg.
Ready. Right behind you. almost didn't see Mr. Newbie sitting down there at the far end of the runway in that fancy PC-24.
That's a nice looking jet too, isn't it? Little
Yeah.
personal Learjet looking thing. Very cool. That thing is
Yeah.
fast too.
Yeah. Pretty neat to fly. That's the request I get started out of. Default.
Yeah, I was surprised also that that's a default. It's one that I've never heard of or seen, and yet I can see you properly, so it must be default. Very cool.
I'm not even sure if I've even flown that one before. I may have to try that too.
Hmm. I like those Learjet things. The Cessna Citation and the Longitude are both pretty nice. They're a little basic, but they're nice. They keep up. I'm really impressed with Mia Scully over here having that Blackbird Simulations Dirty 30. That's advanced. That's very cool, man. I can tell he is a Hercules fan, or she is a Hercules fan. Otherwise, they wouldn't have that fancy Blackbird Sim one. That's not even released yet, and they've got it. So very cool.
I know that's the first time I've seen anybody besides us out flying it.
Exactly. Yeah, you're gonna fit right in around here. That's good stuff. Alright, you'll notice that our flight plan takes us right over the tallest part of this entire mountain range, which is why we need to go to 10,000 feet on this leg. Gentlemen, we are going to take off out of here, climb to 10,000 feet, and turn right to a heading of 126. Turn right to a heading of 126, 10,000 feet, 250 knots. And that will get us to our ultimate stop of the evening. Take as long as you need before making your turn. Make sure that you can get over that mountain range when we get there. So yeah, climb as much as you need before turning. And it is 5 to the top of the hour. Let's go ahead and get these birds up in the air, guys. A couple notches of flaps, ready to go. Alright, Lazerbolt is spooling up. We're rolling. It is a gnarly mountain range. Alrighty, turning on course. Climb, climb, climb. Like I said, the peak we're going over is about 9,500 feet, so you're going to need 10,000. Yep, just make sure you don't hit that weird tower thing. Very bizarre. I have to go back to the Wikipedia page and maybe try to find some pictures of this town and see if there actually is that giant smokestack or whatever the hell it is. That Blackbird C-130J probably shouldn't have too much trouble. Those things have lots and lots of horsepower. I tell you what, far more horsepower than we have in these other C-130s. One of the biggest differences too between the C-130 that I'm using and the C-130J, the C-130 I'm using only has a 4-bladed prop, but the C-130J has 6 blades on that prop. That helps a lot too. Lots of extra thrust. I'm going to turn right a few degrees to get closer to being on the flight path. I'm just to the left of it here right now. I want to be a little bit more on target. Look at that nice inverted flight from Warthog over here. I'm at 10,000 already. Holy moly, I'm climbing fast. Probably too fast, to be honest. All my passengers are getting sick right about now. So how's that weather you got there, Longhorn? You still got like lightning and thunder?
No, it cleared up about 20 miles out.
Cool.
It's just broken clouds now.
But they're thick clouds.
You got that live weather, Bob?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I switched back when I wanted to see what he was doing. I just never did switch back. But yeah,
All right, huh?
looks pretty cool though.
Yeah, that real world weather keeps you on your toes. And I know very often I'm only concerned about let's just land on the closest in, the straightest in runway, when because the weather default I use doesn't have much winds. It doesn't matter where I land. But if it's ever like a deal breaker for you guys, just let me know. We can land a different runway. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have at least one more flight before we get to New Guinea. We probably won't spend too much time in New Guinea. After all, there's not a whole lot of airports there. But if you look at the southern tip of New Guinea, you will see that it almost connects with Australia. And that's we're going to use that little point right there, and that's where we're going to transfer over to Australia. We're going to be there for a while. Australia is a big place. It's got quite a number of airports, a lot of airports in Australia, but they're very far between. So yeah, we're going to be taking some long hauls there. Well, guys and girls, when we get to Maleo Airport at Whiskey Alpha Foxtrot Oscar, we're going to be landing on runway 23. You can count on that. So we're doing 23. Not a hugest runway. It's plenty big enough for us, but it's the shortest runway all night. It's only 4,900. We'll call that 5,000. We got asphalt and at an elevation of 16 feet. Not much to worry about there. But do count on runway 23.
2-3. Okay.
Oh, hey there, Warthog. Didn't see you there sneaking up on me. Yeah, these airplanes are a natural fit together. They look great. Coast, taking any nice pictures lately?
Still haven't got the weather report for tomorrow out here. Hostile tornadoes.
Oh no, see? We sent them your way. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty unusual to have that around here, but we're having some very unusual weather right now.
Yeah, we're having a winter storm yet tomorrow, which is good.
Yep, it says thunderstorms for us, so that's okay. I like a good thunderstorm. Better than a snowstorm, that's for sure. Better than a tornado.
Yep, I'm the duck as it comes, am I?
Yeah, somebody was asking about the different cockpits in the C-130 from Captain Sim and the C-130 from Blackbird. Here, Longhorn popped a picture up, and let me bring that up for you. Here you go. You've all seen the cockpit I'm using with the steam gauges and all that. Well, here is the high-tech advanced cockpit that you can see in the Blackbird C-130J. It's what they call the Dirty 30. It's quite a beast. Yeah, pretty cool. Well, Longhorn's been busy over here posting pictures, and I haven't been paying attention to them. Those are nice. I'm guessing that's me and Bob down there. Bob has the D-Day paint stripes going on. That's nice looking.
Yeah, I don't remember which ones it was. I know for sure it was you and Bob. I can't remember who the third one was. Whoever the third one was that's flying the 130 also. Actually, no, that might have been Warthog in the 117.
Is that Bangladesh Air Force one you're in? Is that a long version or short version? It must be short version.
Yeah, it's a short version.
Yeah. Pretty cool. I've never seen that paint job. It looks nice.
Yeah, I'm running out of paint jobs to choose from. Might have to get on flightsim.to and see if they got some more liveries. Of course, then you wouldn't see me then. Then it'd probably substitute me for a
It would.
It'll
Right.
37.
No, it'll keep you in a C-130, but it just won't. It'll be one of the default paint jobs.
Well, at least it's smart enough to know to keep you in a C-130. It used to just, anytime there was any mismatch in the configuration file, it would just show you as a 747. So our buddy Scully is also in the short configuration. That's the one I like. It just looks, more proper. The big one, I don't know, looks a little unnatural to me. I'm so used to this one. The big one is just a little too stretched out. From what I understand, they handle about the same. There's not much difference in the handling, but there's a big difference in the amount of cargo they can carry, that's for sure. Hey, Wingnut. Oh, we got the whole group up here now. Nice. Almost the whole
Playing
group.
with my heading button here, I keep going too far.
Well,
I'm on the-
this ridge right ahead of us, that is the tallest part of this entire mountain range. So you're going to be able to look down and see squirrels because we're going to be real close to them trees.
You sure that's 9,500 feet? Because I'm at 10,000 feet and it looks like I'm going to hit it.
It's awful close. Yep, I tested it a couple days ago, and little nav map said it was 9,500. So I climbed up to 10,000. It was barely enough, but it's going to be a close call. At least it's nice and flat up here. The search party should be able to find you.
Don't forget, tomorrow, spring ahead.
Tomorrow's time change
Sunday.
again?
Tomorrow night.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
Sat-
Wow.
Saturday night. Well, I made the ridge, but I'm gonna have to clean the pine cones out of my engine when I land.
I think I have a squirrel in my undercarriage. Well, thanks for mentioning that coast. I didn't even know.
The retired life.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Is that a disparaging remark?
No, I'm looking forward to it. A few more years.
That's when the honey-do list grows, though.
Oh yeah, I've got those now.
They grow exponentially.
There's no charts at all for this airport.
What are you showing as a distance on yours? Long one.
Geez, 34.7 miles. Oh, we're closer than I thought. Probably can start descending then. Let's see, what's the altitude of this place? So 18 feet.
Laser, if you're communicating, you're not coming through your voice.
Oh, okay. There you go. Gee, I wonder how long I've been talking with nobody hearing me.
since the last time we heard you.
Yeah, about 18 feet of elevation. That's not a whole lot. But remember, this is only a roughly 5,000 foot runway. That's not short, but it's the shortest one of the evening.
There's my trusty pitch issue. Just
Oh,
shot
is it?
straight to the sky.
There you go. Well, it didn't go away. I would have been surprised if somehow it went away. Boy, it did shoot you into the sky. Look at you. Holy moly.
Yeah, it's about to disable my autopilot.
It looks like you're about ready to stall.
Buzz Aldrin ain't got nothing on him.
No, he's going to the moon.
Yeah, it's about to stall.
Did you flip over backwards? You did flip over backwards. Holy moly.
Yep.
See, that's one of the reasons why I don't use that Dirty 30. It's unpredictable, man. This Captain Sim one is a little janky, but everything works perfectly. It's a little old-fashioned and simple, but everything works.
But don't let nobody ever tell you can't do a roll in a C-130.
Yeah, I've got it on film. You just did a backflip on that thing.
Yeah, I'm about to do another one. Yeah, I'm sitting there looking at the stupid pitch control, and normally when I roll my wheel, forward, the pitch wheel goes the same direction. But as I'm rolling my mouse wheel forward, the pitch wheel is going backwards.
Yeah, weird. And every other time it goes the other way, except for this time. Weird. Very bizarre.
So I've got to
When it happened to me over and over, I kept thinking maybe I had something wrong with my mouse. I thought maybe my mouse wheel was dirty and it was just doing the wrong thing. It was just weird.
No, something got reversed with the pitch control, and as I'm pushing it to where it should be going down, it's taking me up.
I've mapped mine to my yoke, a button on my yoke to go up and down. Mine doesn't have that bad of an issue, but I may go into the forums if I can remember and see if there's anybody else talking about that.
I can't believe there would be nobody. You know what I mean? I've checked the forums and I didn't notice that, but there's got to be somebody mentioning that. That's a big issue, and we're all having it. I better bring this bird down. I mean, like, really bring her down. Hey, our buddy Mia Scully says, hey there, my English is bad, so I take off the audio and listen to music. But he wishes to say thanks and nice flight. Yeah, it's great having you, buddy. Yeah, very much. We're here every Friday, and we hope you're here too with us. Like I said, yeah, fit right in with that Dirty 30 you got there. That's amazing aircraft. I like it. It's got its issues, but one of these days, when it's all perfect, it's going to be something else, man. I have a feeling I'm really close to that airport, and I'm going to have a problem coming in. Okay, I can see where the airport's going to be. That's not too bad.
I just did my third loop. Alright, well, this is going to be hand flown. This is not working.
Oh yeah, it looks like I caught that just in time. It'll be no problem bringing her in. Yeah, and one of the things that's a pain in the ass about that pitch knob that the Dirty 30 has is it's way off to the side and underneath your right arm. So you have to take your eyes off of everything to go down there and use it. And then by the time you look back to the windscreen, you're doing a backflip. It's too late, you know what I mean? It did something crazy in that 1 second that you're looking down there.
Yeah, it's kind of in a crazy spot. That's why I mapped it to my yoke, because I got tired of looking down there, and then
I
by the
tried
time I look back, you're on your way to the moon.
I tried mapping it to the yoke, but I think there was some kind of conflict going on. I don't know. It was like as I'm trying to nose down, it's messing with my flaps at the same time or something, and it never really worked like I wanted it to.
Well, I've got 2 buttons on my yoke that are mapped to pitch control, but it doesn't work on this. It pushes some little dial or some little switch. What does the switch do? Oh, this doesn't. Okay, this doesn't even light up and say what it does, but right below where it says trim mode, there's this little stick, little button inside this little recessed area. That's what I see move when I hit the trim up and trim down on my yoke.
Right. Yeah, what I see, it does like right on your yoke, there's that up and down, there's like a little thumb switch, you can move it up and down. And I always thought that does the same thing as that trim knob, or not the trim knob, but the pitch knob. But I'm not convinced it is the same thing. I think they're slightly different, and I could never get it to work by having it mapped. Okay, I better turn. I'm going to go right past this place. Oh yeah, I see it now. I'm way
Yeah, I
past.
almost
Yeah.
did.
Okay, autopilot off. We got to do this by hand. Fingers crossed. I saw Wingnut Bob cutting her hard right, and I thought, oops, I bet you I'm late here. I overshot this thing. Actually, I'm doing all right. Just barely. One good thing is it's pretty easy to spot runway.
Yeah, there are a lot of heavy, thick clouds, and I'm down at 2,700, 2,000 feet. I just now can see the runway.
Just now. Yeah, I'm probably 10 miles out, and I can see it pretty good. Better slow down before I put them gear out, though, I tell you what. And that is a universal concept with these Hercules. They don't like to slow down. They just want to keep flying, man. This bird wants to stay in the air. Once again, 0 throttle, but I'm not slowing down. Mia, I hope I'm not cutting you off in any way, but I'm coming in hot. Real hot, real fast. Oh boy, I am so high right now. Just a little narrow corridor through those trees too, isn't there?
it's pretty thin, but I got a
Yeah.
C-17 through there, so no worries.
Yeah, you got a bigger wingspan than I do, so I should be okay.
Ah, looking good.
All right, that was a tactical landing, kinda.
Ah, look smooth.
Thank God I've got that reverse thrust.
Yeah, it's a good thing with the C-17. It stops on a dime too. Well, pretty good. I mean, it's pretty short landing.
Geez, talk about short landings. Mia got that thing down like a pro.
I'd say he's been practicing with that bird.
We barely hit the rumble strip. Alright, safe and sound. Same thing with Longhorn. Holy moly, you put that thing right down on the stripe.
I bet his feet went right through the floorboard, just like Flintstone.
I love this reverse thrust on this thing. This thing will probably stop in my backyard.
It is nice, isn't it? Yeah, Warthog. I don't know if Warthog's ever flown that Warthog before, but yeah, he was handling that thing pretty good too.
See, I'm in a Air Force, Air National Guard from Anchorage, Alaska skin, and when I'm looking at your stream, it's got me in something entirely different.
Really?
Oh, I saw you in the Alaska ski.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. I should have everything you got, since it's default.
Well,
Oh, you might have extras.
Yeah, I bought some extra skins on Marketplace, but you get a bunch of extra ones for like $5 or $6 or something like that.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, but they're all from Marketplace, and it's got me. Your YouTube's got me in something entirely different.
Yeah, it's a nice looking airplane I got you in, but it's not the one you were in. I mean, it's not the same paint job. It's the right airplane. Mr. Newbie bringing that PC-24 down. Looking real good. I wonder if I could buy one of those PC-24s for my career mode in the game. That thing has to be good for like VIP passengers and stuff. All right. Get this baby shut down. Just beautiful. Yeah, that 24 has that real nice looking kind of a gunmetal. It's not quite shiny, but it's not dull. Pretty cool. Well, guys, another successful flight. Everybody made it safe and sound.
So they come out with a new a B-25 Mitchell World War II plane. But
Is that
that
right?
thing takes like 20 gigs of hard
Oh,
drive.
really? Good. Holy moly.
Yeah.
That sounds like it'll probably be a frame hog, too. Just you put that much
Probably.
into a plane.
Yes.
I bought it when it first came out, and it didn't really seem to affect my system. But I haven't flown it since it first came out, and there's been like 4 updates since.
Right.
So I've been just waiting for them to straighten it out, because there was a lot of issues trying to fly
Oh,
that.
was there? I was going to
AR that
ask.
I didn't like.
I was going to ask how it was, but it had some stuff, huh?
Yeah, it looked good, but there was a lot of stuff that didn't work very well in VR that I couldn't stand. So I haven't flown it since, but I haven't. I need to try. I need to keep saying I want to try it, but I want to fly it on these flights here, but it only goes like 170 or 180 knots, so it would never keep up. But it would look good flying with this group.
Yeah, that would probably keep up just fine. Well, for sure, it would keep up just fine with like a C-47 or something like that, or a Goonie Bird.
Yeah.
That is a nice looking group. And boy, you don't notice until you get on the ground and you're next to each other just how huge that C-17 is that you got there, Wingnut. That C-17 is an absolute monster. Look at that thing.
Yeah, I know.
It makes my airplane look small, and my airplane's gigantic.
It's fun to fly. I like them all, though.
Yeah, I haven't flown it since the 2020 days, but yeah.
I think it's changed. The flight deck and avionics, to me, seem different. 'Cause
Is it made by the same
relearn
guy?
it. I don't know.
Yeah, because it used to be not. I mean, it used to be like a free aircraft that we could just download from some dude's website, and it was really well made. And then all of a sudden they included it in the 2024 version. I just kind of assumed it was the same one because it was really high quality, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's nice. Inside's got a like a loadmaster station. It's got a bathroom and lavatory area there, and separate.
Nice.
You can load different kinds of cargo in it.
There's one thing I like about the that Blackbird simulation Dirty 30. It's got a microwave inside, and it works.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
mean that's amazing that it's like. Yeah, I mean it looks like it works, so it works.
And if you have a Navigraph, there's one of the panels will let you look at the maps if you have Navigraph, but I don't have that.
Really, I saw people talking about that, but I wasn't 100% sure what that meant. But now I do.
Yeah, I think it's a subscription you have to pay for, but I didn't want to buy it. But it's kind of cool that they added that to it, where you can look at your maps right there on your.
Yeah, I get the
heads
feeling
down
that it must be a good product because I think there's a lot of people that use it. Myself, just like you, I'm not going to pay a monthly subscription just to have some aviation charts. But
Right.
yeah, I think there's a lot of people that actually like that. Well, guys and girls, like always, I had a really good time tonight. You guys are a blast to fly with. And yeah, we're going to be right back here Friday night. We're going to take off from this very airport. We're going to continue east through this little Indonesian island chain we're on, and we're heading towards New Guinea. So we're going to do that here in the next couple weeks. We're going to be back here Friday, same time. So hopefully everybody has a good week and stays dry and warm, and we'll see y'all next time. Thanks for coming. Bye now.
Have a good night, Laser.
Thanks, buddy.